The Angel Clark Show on RadioFreedom.us. It is Thursday. It's the Liberty Train. Choo-choo. And I have on the line with me Corey Moore and Sarah Skwire. And we're talking about life from a liberty-oriented perspective because that's what we do on Thursdays. So what we basically do is we just pick a topic and we talk about it. You know why? Because everything we say is liberty-oriented because we are liberty-oriented people. It's how we operate. So although our opinions may vary, it's always liberty-oriented here on RadioFreedom.us. Now, anyway, we're switching gears a little bit because the Angel Clark Show fan page on Facebook has posted like 15 different images mocking Kim Jong-un in the past 2 days for his threats to the U.S. And I know a lot of people are talking about North Korea. A lot of people are talking about Kim Jong-un. And he has become maybe one of the biggest jokes on the internet in the past 2 days that I've seen. Right in the past, like I'd say that he's definitely taken over the month of April so far. Memes about him are everywhere. And I keep trying to find all of the memes. I know that's not possible, but I keep trying to find them. And I've just been mocking him to no end. It's probably getting old for some of my fans, but I don't care. I really don't care. And I guess now I should find out what everyone else's opinions are. So, Corey, we will start with you. How do you feel about North Korea?
You know, I thought it was funny at first, when North Korea started making these threats. I mean, it's North Korea we're talking about, right? It's kind of funny to think that they could actually do anything. But as more intelligence has come out in the last few days, it looks like North Korea might actually have the capability to attack the United States, and it has pretty much declared war on the United States. Last night, they moved missiles to their east coast, and as we can see with the current range that their bombs can make, they can hit Guam, and they're developing bombs right now that could hit Alaska and Hawaii and California. So I don't think this is something we should be joking about anymore. I really think this might actually happen. I think it's a death wish for the North Koreans because the United States military will probably go in and crush them, or at least that's what people are saying. But then again, look at the military adventurism we've done in the past 10, 15 years, and we haven't exactly won a war then either. So it's really hard to say whether we should take this seriously or not, but this is a more serious subject than just making fun of Kim Jong-un.
Corey, the information that you've been reading, where has it been coming from?
From all over. Like I'm reading one right now from the Washington Post explaining where their missiles can hit, and currently they can hit at least Guam. Where
is that information coming from? The information about their missiles and all the things that they're doing and the potential threat that they are. Where is that information coming from?
From what I understand, that's coming from the U.S. military.
And do you trust the U.S. military?
I don't trust them totally, but I don't necessarily think they're going to lie about something like this. Because when looking at foreign policy in this part of the world, they're trying to de-escalate this as much as possible. So I don't think they're trying to hype up war as much as they're just trying to say, hey, this is something we're looking out for. Although I could be wrong.
Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, man. Are you kidding me? You don't think that they're trying to hype up war? I mean, we've been alive for roughly the same period of time, and every single war that we've gone into in my lifetime has been super overhyped by the military, and then we go in there and just kill hundreds of thousands of people and never gain anything from it, except for, whatever oil or something.
Well, what would we have to gain from this war? That's really what you have to ask yourself. And I don't think there's anything we would gain with it, except for a strategic base near China. Well, that would be about it.
And probably a massive increase in the spending right now for the military-industrial complex.
Good point.
I mean,
yeah, it's a fairly good way of convincing people that we need to spend more money on munitions and on military training and on recruitment of soldiers and that sort of thing, isn't it?
It is. And here's the other thing too, is that when the U.S. is at a war that is engaged in a war that people consider to be viable, then you see this massive surge of quote unquote patriotism or jingoism. And you see people saying, well, you need to support the troops and you need to support the government and you need to love America. And you see a huge increase in that, and people justifying sacrifices because we have to sacrifice because we're in this war, and you know, a huge increase in people volunteering to be into the military. So I actually see the military as having a huge amount to gain from saying, well, this is a very serious threat and this is something that we really have to pay attention to, and you know, they're going to bomb us, so we need to come in here and we need to do this and to do that, because I mean that's ultimately what I think they want, is the government wants to have more control of the people. And we're seeing that the next generation of folks, right, the next generation coming up is They trust the government much less, which is a very, very positive thing, right? They trust the government much, much less. The government approval ratings are way down right now. Congress's approval ratings were at like 8% the last time that I checked. So what they actually need is they need to have a threat that they can point to and say, this is why you need us. But I mean, that's my opinion. So,
I mean, that's my fear. That's my fundamental fear with this. It's, you know, I don't want to see the United States invade North Korea. I don't want to see them drop a nuclear bomb on North Korea. But I feel like it's getting to a situation where it's almost inevitable, and it's hard to tell because of the way the propaganda works, whether this is actually happening or it's being hyped up. And really, I fear for myself and for many of the other peacemongers out there that are going to have to go through the hell that we went through back during the Iraq War when it was first getting started. Because, you know, it was bad. It was a bad environment. People thought you were anti-American for being pro-peace. So, you know, it's hard to tell, but I don't know why. I still can't find a good incentive why the U.S. would be doing this when we already have enough military spending going in places like Pakistan and, you know, with the possibility going into Iran and all that. So I could be wrong, though.
But see, this is what you just said. You just said the words, we already have enough military spending. And how many people do you think that are bureaucrats for the government actually believe they're getting enough money?
Well, I mean, none of them do, right? But
exactly.
I take Corey's point here. I'm very much of two minds about how worried to be about this, right? I mean, on the one hand, right, we have crazy people with missiles and nuclear weapons, right? That's a big problem, right? Because you don't know what is going to happen, and they're not dealing with the same kind of cost-benefit analysis as the not-so-crazy people, right?
I would make the argument that that both the governments are crazy, especially since the U.S. is, you know, the government that's used the nuke. But I get what you're saying. But we have to step away for just a moment. We will return in a moment. The Angel Clark Show will return. RadioFreedom.us.
This is the Angel Clark Show. In a moment.